In the beginning of the movie, we are shown a time-worn house made of wood in the middle of the forest. In this house, a woman named Mama lives with her two little sons named Samuel and Nolan. Whenever they go outside, they tie one end of the rope around their waists for their safety from evil, while the other end of the rope is attached to the house. Actually, the whole world has changed completely at this time. A long time ago, our world was attacked by such an entity that wiped out the existence of humans from the earth, and now there are very few humans left on earth. Here, Mama tells her children that all around their house lives the same entity which is called evil. This house was built by my grandfather and he used special powers while constructing it. Therefore, the evil entity living outside can't fall upon us. Once my mother stepped outside this house, she was attacked by the evil, but she managed to get away with her life as she was tied with rope around her waist. Although Nolan and Samuel never saw the evil entity around their decrepit house, yet Mama claims to have seen that entity. Her children believe her. That's why whenever the trio goes outside, they keep themselves tied with the rope around their waist. Next morning, they go to the woods in search of food by fastening the rope around their waist. They have a dog named Coda, which is tied with a rope as well. Mama and her children go in different directions into the forest. In the forest, Mama finds a man loitering around in the woods. In no time, Mama makes out that this man is under the influence of evil. That's why she brushes him aside, because she comes across such entities every now and then. In the next scene, we see Nolan, who finds an egg at a distance in the forest, but he can't make it to the egg. As the rope has ended, he begins to untie the rope to grab the egg, but just then Samuel arrives there and forbids him untying the rope, as it will not be safe for them. Now they go to the other side to look for food. At the precise moment, Samuel says to Nolan, "Mama loves me more than she loves you." Nolan falls apart on hearing this. He asks Samuel what he has just said. Samuel responds that he didn't say anything. Samuel really didn't say anything, but Nolan does not believe him, causing him to step foot on Samuel's rope. Now, as soon as Samuel advances, he rolls down the mound and flattens out. While rolling down, Samuel's rope is untied. Seeing his brother helpless, Nolan unties his rope as well as blows the whistle to let her mother know that they are in trouble. Having heard the whistle, Mama rushes to the woods. Whereas in the forest, a devilish woman starts advancing towards Samuel and Nolan, but before she could harm these two little children, Mama arrives there and takes them away and ties the rope around them. After which, the demonic lady approaches Mama and starts grunting around her. Here, the surprising thing is that Samuel and Nolan can't see the creepy woman. Only their mother can see her. Following this, Mama takes her sons back to the house and gets angry with them and orders them never to untie the rope outside. She tells them, "When I was a little girl and my rope had ended, I saw a little injured girl who was a few steps away from me. She was asking me for help, but I understood in no time that this was nothing but the evil who wanted to trap me, and even today I can hear her voice." Nolan does not believe his mother's words, as he has never seen such an evil entity outside his house yet, and he wants to see the outer world after getting out of this forest. In the course of the night, Nolan suggests to Samuel that they should go outside without the rope tied around their waist. "Today, we were without the rope in the woods, but nothing wrong happened to us." Then Samuel answers that we were saved by our mother in time. We must believe her. Then, Nolan asks Samuel why their mother killed their father, grandmother, and grandfather. Then Samuel responds that because all of them had been possessed by evil, compelling our mother to kill all of them. If Mama had not killed them, then they would have killed us. She did that just to keep us safe, but by now, Nolan's doubt in his mother's words had intensified, as he believed her claims lacked reality. Mama is outside in the rocking chair. There, she spots her dead husband. Actually, the evil entity inhabiting this forest is very clever. It manipulates humans, and that's why it showed up before Mama in the form of her husband to manipulate her. The evil entity reminds her of the quality time they spent together. Mama answers that she is not fond of living in the past and just wants to save her children. Then the evil entity disguised as her husband tells her that she would not be able to save her children from him. Next morning, when Mama works with Nolan in the makeshift garden, Nolan spots a snake tattoo on her back, which is evil's symbol. He questions his mother about the tattoo. Mama states that she got that tattoo made when the evil entity did not used to exist in this world. Nolan is a sleepwalker. That's why Mama ties a bell around his foot so that he may not step outside the house at night. One night, Nolan dreams that someone pulls his rope, and he is getting dragged along with the rope and then thrown into a well where he encounters a creature. Next moment, he regains his consciousness and finds himself outside the house without the rope tied around his waist. Nolan gets here while walking in his sleep. Right then, Mommy blows in there and takes him back to the house. She puts him into a cellar and orders him to say a prayer in order to pull out the negative energy. If it has entered his body, actually Mama does so if either of the boys ever goes out without the rope. Now, Nolan is completely convinced that no evil entity exists outside their house. It is only a misconception of her mother's mind. That's why he advises Samuel to bring some help from outside, as they have nothing to eat now, and Mama is listening to all this while standing outside. Next day, Mama tells Samuel and Nolan that they are running out of food. So we have to kill our dog to eat him. Nolan gets furious on hearing this, as he loves his dog very much. Having said that, Mama forcefully takes the old dog to a storehouse where she wants to put the poor dog to death. At the same time, Nolan arrives there without the rope fastened around his waist and cuts the rope of her mother and locks her inside the store. Mama pleads with him to let her out, but he locks the door from outside. As a matter of fact, he wants to make his mother believe that no evil entity lives outside. It is only her illusion. Samuel also turns up there and charges at Nolan. Inside the storeroom, Mama encounters an evil entity who is in her mother-in-law's form. She says to Mama, "Now I will possess you, and after that, you will kill your children yourself." After hearing this, Mama kills herself before being possessed by the lurking evil entity so that she may not hurt her own children. After this, Nolan and Samuel get into the store and find their mother lying dead. Seeing this, Samuel gets a bundle of nerves and falls ill, causing Nolan to go outside by himself in search of food. While looking for food in the forest, he comes out of the forest and sees the road for the first time. He notices that there is nothing but silence in the surroundings. Hence, he comes back home. Just then, a stranger shows up there, following him. The stranger tells him that he is a hiker and saw him passing through the woods. "That's why I came over here, following you." The stranger asks Nolan what he is doing there in this dense forest. Then Nolan answers that his brother is sick and starving and his mother has died as well. The stranger tells Nolan that he has something to offer him. Just then, Samuel arrives there, holding a crossbow in his hand. Samuel orders the stranger to get away from there if he wants to keep living. Considering the hiker to be an evil entity, Samuel shoots a sharp arrow from his crossbow, wounding him. Hiker dashes off from there. Nolan also chases him and finds him lying wounded under a tree. Nolan spots a mobile phone in his hand from which a human voice is coming, meaning the world is not devoid of humans. Nolan grabs his bag and gets back home and begins to take out the foodstuff from the bag. At first, Samuel warns him of the food, as it may be cursed, but later, because of starvation, he starts devouring the food. Among the edible things, he finds a wallet of the hiker, containing his photo with his daughter. Seeing this, Samuel is filled with the remorse after facing up to the fact that he has killed an innocent human. At night, Samuel hears some noise coming from the same store in which his mother killed herself. Samuel gets inside the store but finds nothing except the dead body of his mother. Just then, a little girl arrives there. The little girl asks Samuel if he has seen her father as he headed towards the side. The little girl notices her father's torch in Samuel's hands. Samuel tells the girl that her father has been killed by him by mistake. Hearing this, the hiker's daughter starts dashing off into the woods. Samuel also goes after her, but while chasing the girl, Samuel's rope comes to an end. Therefore, he unties the rope and again goes to look for the girl. All of a sudden, the girl vanishes into thin air. Just then, he sees a creepy creature ascending the tree. The very next moment, the same creature closes in on Samuel. The evil creature is revealed to be the same girl who bumped into him a little while ago. The evil girl possesses Samuel then and there. After being possessed, Samuel heads back to his house. After a while, Nolan walks into the room and finds Samuel sitting up on the bed. Nolan discovers a black shadow over Samuel's head. So he begins to chant a mantra to detect any evil spirit in Samuel's body. Upon hearing the incantation, Samuel flies into a rage and locks Nolan inside a room. Afterwards, the possessed Samuel sets his house on fire and goes outside to see his house burning away. Nolan tries to escape the burning house but can't. Inside the flaming house, Nolan comes across the evil entity who is in the form of his mother at this time. Nolan makes out that his mother was right, and this is the same entity who killed his mother. That's why he dives into the cellar, taking the evil entity with him. Nolan keeps on chanting pious incantations which hurt the evil entity a lot. The evil entity starts coming into its real form, and soon it perishes. Outside, Samuel takes a photo of himself with the burning house. After a while, a rescue team arrives there, as the hiker has called 911. Nolan and his brother Samuel are rescued. After this, we see a photo of Samuel, which he captured while his house was on fire. In the photo, we spot a devilish hand on Samuel's shoulder. Now both orphan brothers are brought into the outer world, where humans still exist, contrary to Mama's belief that they were the only ones left alive. And with this scene, this movie comes to an end.